My dear brothers and sisters, today I want to speak to you about Saint Theresa of Child Jesus. We celebrate her feast on the 1st of October. When our children go to school, what is the first word that a child learns to read? Is it A for apple, B for ball, C for cat? Well, the first word that Saint Theresa of Child Jesus learned to read was heaven. 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 And my dear friends, her whole focus was upon heaven because she intended to go there. Saint Theresa of Child Jesus has very beautifully said, I will spend my heaven by doing good on earth. She is called as the little flower. She was born as the youngest child to Zélie and Louis Martin. And you know what? Both her parents are saints. They are canonized saints by the church. Louis and Zélie Martin, they had 9 children, out of which only 5 survived. 4 children died. They lost 2 baby boys. They lost a 5-year-old girl, and they lost a 6.5-week-old baby girl. And Zélie once wrote to someone about this whole episode. She said, I closed the eyes of each of my children and prepared to bury them. And some people who had gathered, they were commenting, these children should never have been born to you. But Zélie says, I didn't believe in all that because I know that one day we will meet in heaven. The interesting fact about the parents of Saint Therese of Child Jesus is that both of them wanted to enter into religious life. The father of Saint Therese, he wanted to join the monastery, but then he found studies difficult, so he did not remain there. He left the monastery. The mother of Therese, Zélie, she had joined a convent, but she too could not make it. But they both were very holy people, and the 5 surviving girls, the 5 surviving children, all 5 joined the religious life, became persons consecrated to the Lord. When Saint Therese of Child Jesus was born to her parents, she was a frail and weak baby, and her parents thought she would not survive, but she made it. But when Therese of Child Jesus was a small girl, just a girl of 4 years, her mother, Zélie, died of breast cancer. This little child, Therese, she was very beautiful, charming. She had blue eyes, and she was very mischievous, naughty. But she had a great love for Jesus. Her naughtiness and her stubbornness were often described by her parents. You know, there is one case that is told about her. She had a nurse by the name of Victor, and this nurse of hers, she often called her a little brat because of Saint Theresa's mischievous nature. So she called her the little brat, and one day this little girl Therese, she wanted an inkstand that was placed on one of the shelves. So because she wanted that inkstand, her hand was not reaching there. She asked her nurse Victor to give it to her. But the nurse told her, you get a chair and place it there and take that inkstand. So Therese was not happy about it. She took the chair and she placed it there. She climbed on top of the chair, removed the inkstand, and then she thought of teaching this nurse a lesson. And she told her, you know, Victor, you know what? You are also a brat like me. And the nurse was just stunned and looked at her. So this was her naughty nature, her mischievous nature. But she was a girl who loved Jesus with all her heart. As a student, Saint Therese of Child Jesus loved catechism. She loved history, science, but she found it difficult with maths, and she found spellings also difficult, the way many children find spellings difficult today. As a little child, Therese was often falling sick, and once she was so sick, her father took her to so many doctors, but no treatment helped her. Beside her bed, there was a statue of Mother Mary. She turned to Mother Mary, and Mother Mary healed her. As Therese was a growing girl, her sister Pauline was the second mother after her mother died. But as Pauline grew, she got the religious calling and she joined the convent. And Therese felt sad because she had lost her second mother now. And she too wanted to join the convent like Pauline. As she said, I was born for glory. And you know, Saint Therese of Child Jesus had a favorite saint. Her favorite saint was Saint Joan of the Arc. Saint Joan of the Arc was the one who rescued France by her bravery. And Saint Therese of Child Jesus wanted to rescue not only France, but the whole world. And she was madly in love with Jesus. At the age of 11, Saint Therese received her first Holy Communion, and she calls it as the first kiss of love that she received. As a growing child, Saint Therese of Child Jesus often fell sick. She was ill. After Pauline joined the convent, Saint Therese's other sister, Marie, became like her mother. She took on the role of her mother. But later on, Marie also joined the convent, and Therese lost her third mother. And Therese wanted to join the convent, but because of her age, she was held back. Therese was not accepted in the convent because she was too small. But she had a great desire to join the convent. In the year 1887, Therese had a vision. And in that vision, she saw herself at the foot of the cross. Jesus was suffering on the cross, hanging there, bleeding. And Saint Therese was there at the foot of the cross. Doing what? Collecting the blood of Jesus and giving it to the souls. She realized her mission. That was what Jesus wanted from her, to collect his blood and give it to the souls. And once she understood her mission, she was focused on her goal. Saving souls for Jesus. Bringing people closer to Jesus. In Italy, there was a person, a criminal by the name of Henry Pranzini. And this person had murdered 2 women and a child, and he was sentenced to die. Saint Teresa, she prayed for his conversion because she had heard that Henry had rejected God. He did not want to have anything to do with Jesus. And now, after so much of prayer, Henry did not change. On the day he was taken to be killed. Henry, before he died, asked for the crucifix and kissed the sacred wounds of Jesus 3 times. And when Saint Therese heard about it, she knew it was because of her prayers. It was her sacrifice, her fasting that she had offered for Henry Pranzini. After accepting Jesus, he went to the gallows. Therese was not yet 15 when she wanted to join the convent desperately. And when she went to the convent, there was a priest director, and the priest director told her, you come back when you're 21. She was much disappointed, but then she thought of going one step higher. Let me go to the bishop. She went to the bishop, and before going to the bishop, she made her hair straight so that she looks older than her age. And the bishop, looking at her, he was charmed by her desire. But though he was impressed by her, he did not give her permission. He told her that he would write back to her and he would take his decision later. Saint Therese did not stop there. She thought of going even higher, and the opportunity came very soon. In November 1887, there was a group of French pilgrims who decided to go to Rome, to the Vatican, because they wanted to celebrate the golden jubilee of the ordination of Pope Leo XIII. And Therese's father decided to take Therese and her sister Celine there to the Vatican for this celebration. Pilgrims from all over the world, they gathered there, and Therese said, this is my opportunity, and she went there to Rome with her sister Celine and with her father. And they went for this celebration, and They were told very strictly that there is a large audience and the Holy Father will not be able to give time to everyone, so they need to take his blessing and they need to move aside. Now that Therese was forbidden to speak, she did not know what to do. And as they were there in the presence of the Holy Father, she turned to her sister Celine and asked, "What shall I do?" And Celine told her sister, "Don't worry, you speak." As the Holy Father was blessing her, Therese told him, "Holy Father, in honor of your golden jubilee, please grant me the permission. I would like to join the sisters in the convent. I want to be a religious." And the Holy Father just looked at her, and the priest in charge of the pilgrims, Father Reveroni, was much disturbed and annoyed at this girl's request, and he briefed the Holy Father, "Your Holiness, this girl has been asking to join the convent at Carmel, but because she's too young, the superiors are still taking their time to consider her request." The Holy Father turned to Therese and told her, "My child, you do what the superiors tell you." And Therese looked at the Holy Father and said, "Oh Holy Father, if you say yes, definitely they will agree." And the Holy Father told her, Go, my child. If God wills it, you will definitely enter." And his words came true. At the very start of the next year, in the month of January 1888, Therese was accepted into the convent of Mount Carmel. She was only 15 years old. And after she joined the convent, later on, Celine also joined the convent. There's a small anecdote told to me by the late Father Jerome Braganza, a Carmelite priest. You know, Saint Therese of Child Jesus, she loved gardening, and once she was there in her garden, suddenly she noticed a little child there among the flowers in the garden. She went to that child, a small child, cute child, maybe 5-6 years old, and she asked that child, "Child, who are you? What is your name? What are you doing here?" And the child asked her, "What is your name, sister?" Saint Therese looked at the child and said, "My name is Sister Therese of Child Jesus. And what about you, child? What's your name?" And the child told her, "I am Child Jesus of Sister Therese." It was Jesus who encountered her in that garden. In the convent, life was not easy for Saint Therese of Child Jesus. She was always falling sick. There were a lot of sufferings in her life, but she did not give up. She held on to Jesus, and she lived in the convent for 9 years, and at the age of 24, she died. And as she died, she held on to the crucifix, the cross of Jesus, and looked at Jesus and said, "My God, I love you." These were her last words, "My God, I love you." Today, Saint Therese of Child Jesus is known as the patroness of the missions. The patroness of the missions. She did not go as a missionary anywhere, but with her life, with her prayers, she definitely worked for the missions. Today she is an example for each one of us, especially for our children. As she was called to be a saint, each one of us is called to be saints, and we are called to bring up our children to be saints. We are called to bring up our children in the love of Jesus. So let us ask for this grace. God bless you.